The USDA offers guidelines, such as using a thermometer to make sure the meat is cooked to the proper temperature. But they also say cross-contamination can be a problem while grilling. Here's Meredith Carruthers, food safety expert with USDA's Meat and Poultry Hotline.
Certain bacteria can live on surfaces for like 72 hours. So think about it. You're making dinner, you've touched chicken, touched your spice containers without washing your hands, and then in the morning you're cooking eggs and you want to use the same spice in your eggs or something, and then that gets all touched other places.
If you have questions as you're grilling, you can reach an expert like Carruthers by calling the USDA Meat and Poultry Hotline at 1-888-MP-HOTLINE. I'm Sabrina Halverson for the Southeast AgNet.
While we may disagree a lot, we do agree Rural King's our favorite place for pets.
Like cats, all the toys and treats and the fun little beds.
I like the dog section, the food, the chewies. Oh, pig ears.
Of course you choose the Easy Pet.
Right, because your cats are so warm and loyal.
I hope the doghouse is warm tonight.
It's never warm.
No, it's not. Can I help you?
Yeah,
catnip.
Rawhide?
Catnip.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Today will be partly sunny with a thunderstorm this afternoon, high 88 to 90, then mainly clear skies this evening, low tonight 71 to 73. Tuesday will be partly sunny with a thunderstorm in the afternoon, high tomorrow 89 to 91, then watch for thunderstorms in the area Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
Hey, do you know there's an Italian bakery in Ocala? Well, there is. It's the Magnolia Italian Bakery, where you can get the best Italian specialties. We have Italian and New York cheesecakes, fresh-made cannolis, cream puffs, eclairs, and even custom and gourmet cakes. We even serve hot and cold lunch daily. I suggest you try the Italian special number 3. We even cater big and small events. So call ahead, 352-207-2667. Visit the Magnolia Italian Bakery. Manja. God bless. This hour of Ocala Talks is brought to you in part by Blockers Furniture. Go see all their specials at blockersfurniture.com.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Monday. Let's go out to the phone lines. Good morning. You're on Ocala Talks.
Good morning, Tom.
Morning, Hugh. How are you?
Pretty good. Say, June 6, 1944, D-Day, a big, big day in military history.
78 years ago today.
Wow. It's something. 150,000 troops, almost 20,000 of them that never made it back. It was just a very, very important date in history. It was the end of Nazi Germany, but it took quite a lot of more lives and a lot of more battles before that was accomplished.
Yeah. The Allies stormed the beaches of Normandy and Omaha all the way up and down the coast of France. But one of the unknown stories is the way that they pulled off the hoax of making the Germans think the attack was actually coming from the northern shore of France. How they set up dummy wooden tanks and everything to make it look like from a faraway observer that the attack was coming from a different place.
Yeah, that was quite a very interesting thing that they tried there, and to some success, anyways. But still, the troops were really mowed down by the positioning of the Germans with their machine guns and everything. It was just a terrible situation. There were so many soldiers died so quickly, you know.
Yeah, it was a bunch of people that sacrificed the ultimate sacrifice to. Basically, D-Day was the beginning of the liberation of Europe from Nazi control.
Exactly. Yeah, you almost would think that this would be like a national holiday because of the importance of the event.
And it is in France. It is a national holiday in France, and a lot of Europe celebrates today. about the start of the liberation of the Nazi regime. It's not as big a day here as it used to be. I remember as a kid, it was still D-Day. The 2 days that I remember as a kid that they weren't national holidays, but they were remembered like national holidays, were June 6th and December 7th. And we don't remember those days as importantly as we used to. The older they get away, D-Day 78 years. December 7th will be Pearl Harbor will be 82 years this year.
Wow. I wonder, does Veterans Park have any kind of a special flag ceremonies or anything that would go on today?
If they did, they didn't send me a press release about it.
Yeah, you think they would do something special because of the importance of the date?
Yeah, it began the liberation of Europe, which led to VE Day, victory in Europe, and then we had VJ Day, victory in Japan, in August of 45. But this was a big day, June 6th of 1944. Operation Overlord was the name of the operation.
Right. Yeah.
Here's a great trivia question. Do you know what the password of the day was that day, so that you knew you were dealing with allies and not enemies? There was a password of the day. Do you know what the password of the day was, June 6th?
I heard it, and I can't remember what it is. I think it's kind of a cute, funny little word.
It is.
I can't remember.
It was Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse, exactly, right. Yeah. That is really funny.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse was the password of the day for June 6th, and that was the password that was used to give the orders that it was a go. And it was because of the weather.
What?
The weather had been terrible. They originally wanted to go on the 4th, and they wanted to go on the 5th, and they finally got a break in the weather on the 6th, so Eisenhower gave the order for the Allies to go.
Right. Yeah. Well, maybe Walt Disney was really happy to hear that, huh?
Well, sure, it didn't hurt his bottom line any. But, yeah, that Mickey Mouse was the password of the day used when that assault started. Yeah. And, by the way, like you said, the Germans had set up those machine gun nests up on the cliffs and just were mowing people down that were coming off the transports onto the beach.
Yeah, I know they tried to bomb them and shell them with the ships and bomb them with the planes, but it's such a hard target to knock out because they're so buried in the rocks and stuff. You know what I mean? It was a very hard target.
Hand grenades had to be dropped in the nest from soldiers who had made it up the cliffs. That's how they finally were able to shut them down. Yeah. Well, it was a terrible situation. It had to be done. If it wouldn't have been the start of the end of the Nazi regime, God only knows what it would be like right now, in this country. Who knows? But thank you to all the men that gave their lives that day, all the allies that gave their lives that day to be able to make it off the beach and start driving the Germans backwards, and eventually, with the Russians coming from the northwest and the Allies coming from the southeast, they were eventually able to drive the Germans all the way back into Germany and in the war. Yeah. Well, for all those soldiers that made it and didn't make it, they should be in our prayers today. They most certainly should. Thank you, and thanks for reminding. I was going to do a segment, but I'll go ahead and do it now. So I appreciate you bringing that up. Okay, thank you, Tom. Thank you. 622-9622 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the program. 352-622-9622. Take your calls on Don Browning. Take your calls on D-Day. Today's a very important day in the history of the world, not just the history of the United States. Remember, this was a world war that started in 1939. Even though we didn't get it until December of 1941, it had been ravaging Europe since September of 1939. So this is a big day in the aspect of freeing Europe from Nazi occupation. Good morning, you're on Ocala Talks.
Good morning, Tom. What everybody forgets is the sacrifices that were taking place here at home.
Certainly.
Such as the rationing of food.
Rationing of food, gas, rubber, everything. Nylon, everything.
As a very tiny kid, I can still remember the metal drives
Oh, yeah, they would collect metal, certainly, because they needed it to make planes and everything. People had victory gardens. I bet as a young kid, your parents had a victory garden, probably.
Oh, yeah. And, to me, I think it was the whole country was on a military standing with this. During the war, my father had a pilot's license, but he was too old and he had too many dependents. So consequently, he wound up in the CAP, the Civil Air Patrol.
Yep.
We used to fly a Piper Cub up and down the coast off of Maryland, Delaware, and part of Virginia.
Looking for U-boats.
And, yes, and as a matter of fact, one of his squadron, the CAP squadrons, actually sunk a U-boat. They carried little, I think about a 20-pound bomb or 10-pound bomb. I forget exactly what it was. But one of the guys, there was a U-boat on the surface, and he dropped his bomb, and it went right in through the hatch, down into the control section of the sub and blew up, and it actually sunk a sub. But there was a lot of them that were shot down by the German subs, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was issued a life vest, a one-man, airboat.
Yeah, you would get. I remember kids did I've seen the videos and everything. Kids were doing they were going out collecting metal and all for the metal drives. Remember the rise of Rosie the Riveter? Women going into factories because men were away fighting in the war. Women went into factories and built airplanes and tanks and guns.
Well, actually, before we actually got into the war, we were supplying
the Lend-Lease program.
Europe, yes, the Lend-Lease program, which we should have enacted with Ukraine. But maybe they will still do it. I don't know. But it seems like all of a sudden we don't hear too much about Ukraine. So what does that mean?
Well,
they're getting ready to sell Ukraine down the river.
Well, I watched a news broadcast this weekend where the Ukrainians are using mortars and all provided by surface-to-air missiles and all provided by the U.S. military, and they're actually making pretty good gains against the Russian incursion by using the equipment the U.S. military is giving them.
Yeah, well,
that doesn't fit in the narrative. That doesn't fit in the narrative as the major news.
Really hearing it. You have to catch it on the news on the sly. You only hear it like once, like where the Russians took a whole bunch of children and brought them into Russia.
200,000 of them.
Kidnapping.
200,000.
And they also, yeah. Well, this is bad news. We got a problem in the White House, and Russia's got a problem in the Kremlin.
Imagine that. Some things change, Sonny, and some things stay the same.
Yeah, well, the only thing I could say, it's not good when you have two problems that are major as far as the world goes.
I agree with you.
Anyway, thanks a lot for listening, and everybody remember this is D-Day.
It is D-Day.
And we went through a lot to get to that point. The people at home here, the United States citizens, sacrificed an awful lot.
They certainly did.
So,
thanks for the call, Sonny.
Have a good day. Bye.
Sonny's right. It wasn't just the soldiers that were on the battlefield faced the ultimate sacrifice, but there was a lot. Remember, we were coming out of the Depression. There was a lot of rationing and all that went on with rubber and food and fuel and all different kind of things to help with the war effort. And sometimes that does get lost when you talk about the war effort. We'll take a break. We'll be back after this timeout on WOCA, The Source.
So many people here are getting real lasting joint pain relief from QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics has changed my life.
I would recommend QC to anybody.
The work that QC Kinetics did paid off exponentially.
It brought me
back to an effective age of almost in my 20s and 30s.
QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge regenerative medicine, natural biologics from your own body, precision treatments that can restore and repair damaged tissue in your aching joints, with no meds, no steroids, no drugs, and no downtime.
I got a very quick resolution to my pain.
It is a all-natural therapy. You're using you to fix you.
I got my life back. I got my smile back. And best of all, I got my laugh back.
Don't live with that pain anymore. And don't let them tell you surgery is your only option. Learn more about regenerative options from the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics. Call now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. 352-400-4550.
Attention passengers for Flight 1370. The plane has been delayed at its departure point and will be at least 2 hours late. We apologize for any inconvenience.
Are you serious? It took us over an hour to get here, 2 hours going through security and getting our tickets, and now we have to wait another 2 hours.
Yeah, it's beautiful here, but we're inside this overcrowded airport all day because the plane is stuck in bad weather.
This is the last time we ever do this. When we get back, we're going to Ocala Aviation and getting our pilot's license.
Yeah, we've been talking about that long enough. It's about time we did it. Then we could just fly ourselves and never have to deal with this mess again.
Right. No long lines, no full body groping security, no baggage checks.
Not to mention never losing your luggage. Remind me again why we haven't done that?
Well, we're idiots.
Oh, right.
Attention all passengers for Flight 1370. It looks like the plane is going to be delayed a little bit longer. The airline has lost the pilot's luggage. Isn't it time you got your pilot's license? Call Ocala Aviation today. 352-861-7484. That's 352-861-7484. Hey, you've earned it. Call today.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY only $4.99. Plus DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Started in 1975. It's Yendel's Building Materials. Whether you're making repairs, adding a room, or building a house, Yendel's constantly delivers excellent service and top quality materials and many of the tools and hardware you need to get the job done. At Yendel's, they take pride in supplying their customers with new and innovative products. Yendel's experience in truss design, manufacturing, and component materials is second to none. 834 North Magnolia Avenue in Ocala, 732-3000. Stop by to experience the difference.
While we may disagree a
Do you suffer from joint pain or anxiety? Natural Life CBD Kratom and Kava can help. Our CBD certified associates will consult with you. Chocolate, gummies, CBD oil. We have Delta 8 products with quality you can trust, all held to the highest standard. Natural Life has 2 locations to serve you, open 7 days a week, located in the S-Curve and in the Heathbrook Shopping Plaza. Give them a call at 352-355-3040. And if you stop in and tell them you heard it on WOCA, you'll receive 10% off your entire purchase.
Nirvana, Ocala's premier medical spa, is leading the way in great skin with all the